Shalom, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, citation, I can teach all truth and sincerity. Um, this is going to be called Esau Was Rejected. Um, so I'm going to get straight to Slaki. I'm going to start off in 2nd Ezra 3 and 13. It says, Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them whose name was Abraham. And Yahweh chose Abraham um, to basically show him um, his will, his ways, the ways of righteousness, and I'm read verse 14. It says, Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will. It says, 15, and madest an everlasting covenant with him. So the Most High Yahweh made a covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob, promising Abraham that his seed would be as the stars of heaven, and that kings would come out of Abraham's loins. Um, him, him. I'm reading verse 15 over. It says, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, and promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. And that's what the Most High promised Abraham. He would never forsake the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's Abraham's descendants. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the 12 tribes of Israel. Um, verse 16 says, and unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau, cause Esau was put by basically that was set up from the beginning. The Most High said the elder sibling shall serve the younger sibling, and that was set up from the beginning because Esau was Cain, and Jacob was Abel, and they came back as Jacob and Esau in the reincarnation, and the Most High loved Jacob. He had a favorite nation he chose. It was Jacob, and he hated Esau. And plus the blessing in the kingdom of heaven was only for Jacob. That was set up in the spirit for Jacob to get the kingdom and to get the blessing. Esau, he didn't really appreciate his birthright. He sold it for a morsel of meat. He didn't really have appreciation towards his birthright. I can get that in Hebrews, where it talks about he profane. He's outside the temple. That's what profane means. But he sold it for one morsel of meat. He didn't really have any respect unto the blessing, and plus it wasn't for him in the beginning. But anyway, I'm gonna read this over again. This is 2nd Ezra 3 and 16. It says, and unto him thou givest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau. So Jacob became a great multitude. So, and Esau was put by. he has no repentance, no salvation for Esau because he didn't appreciate the blessing, even though it wasn't for him, and you know, he sold it uh for uncooked meat, and the Most High, you know, hates Esau, had to prepare, uh, cause Esau is Cain in the reincarnation, So anyway, I'm gonna get Genesis. I'm gonna get Genesis. It's Genesis 25 and 23. Um, it's Genesis 25 and 23. And Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So, the woman Rebecca required of the Lord, and the Lord, the person that the prophet that told her, he told her that two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separate from thy bowels. So she's having boys. So her sons are supposed to be twins, but she's having a different pair of twins. These twins are two different nations within her womb, and they're gonna be two nations separate um, when they come out. And the eldest twin that comes out of her will serve the youngest twin. And it says one nation will be stronger than the other, and Jacob will be stronger than Esau. It says, verse 24, when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So Esau came out first, had, red leopard skin. It says in 26, and says, and after that came his brother out. His hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And uh, uh, Jacob really didn't need to be described like that because he looked like everybody else. But the point is, that's the prophecy. The elder shall serve the younger. And that's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. Because on this side, Esau's in his queendom, and Jacob is in captivity. But in the kingdom of heaven, Esau, Edom, the red Hebrew Edomite, is going to be at the bottom serving the nation of Israel, who are going to be on top in rulership and ruling the entire earth in righteousness. I'm going to Romans. I'm going to Romans 9. Romans 9. I'm starting verse 11. It's Romans 9:11. It says, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. So the Most High, even before Jacob and Esau came out of Rebekah, the Most High, this was set up before they came even out. It didn't matter if the children did any good or evil. It was the Most High's. It was all His will, and He chose to set this up this way, and have it this way, because it was all ordained before they were born. It says verse 12, it was said unto her the elder shall serve the younger. So it said unto Rebekah, the elder shall serve the younger, like it says in Genesis. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So the Most High loved Jacob and hate Esau. And it's not, I'm going to read verse 14, and that's it. It says, what shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? Yahweh forbid. Uh, I read verse 15. It says, for he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So the Most High, he chose this way because it was set up before even the foundations of the earth was formed. This was set up in the spirit. This was already set up before everything was created. You know, before everything was made. This whole thing was set up to go down in the near future to come. You know. This whole plan for Jacob and Esau, and for this all to be to go through and come to pass. This was all set up to for the future to come. For the kingdom of heaven to be established this way. You know. Uh, I'm gonna go to Second Ezra 6 and verse 7. It's Second Ezra 6 verse 7. It says, then answer I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, and when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followed? And Esdras was wondering when this kingdom was going to fall, and when the kingdom of heaven was going to begin, when the age of righteousness was going to begin. When the kingdom was going to come. Because if you read a little up, it talks about before the earth was made, in the beginning, before the earth was made, before everything was formed, and before everything was stood, the Most High in the heavens was pondering all this, and thinking about all this in up there in the heavens before he made his son, and before all this stuff was brought to pass. And Edris was asking, when is the time when wickedness is no more and righteousness is what's the word, when righteousness is ruling and thriving. uh Verse 8 says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau's in the end of this wicked queendom, and Jacob is the beginning of the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of righteousness on the earth. Because once Esau goes down, all all the governments of the world go down, and then the kingdom of heaven can basically strive on the earth, be established on the earth. Because once this wicked man's taken down out of power and put in captivity along with the rest of the heathens, the kingdom of heaven is going to be established on the earth. I'm gonna get Hebrews. I'm gonna get the last scriptures. Hebrews 12 and 16. It's Hebrews 12 and 16. It says, It's Hebrews 12:16. It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Because Esau, he sold his birthright for one morsel of meat, you know, and he's a fornicator, a profane person. He's outside the temple. He's profaned. That means outside the temple. Because he didn't really have respect to the birthright or the blessing. Um, it says, "For ye know how that afterwards, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears." And yeah, he cried to his father Isaac to give him a blessing, and Isaac gave him a blessing, blessed him with uh, this queendom on this side, because that was his blessing, and gave him the blessing of the sword. You know, because by his sword, which is the modern day gun, Esau lives by that. He's well trained in his weapon. Um, so so I'm a end it right here. I'm gonna say all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash, double honors to Elder Apostle Great Millstone. As I teach you, I can teach all truth, sincerity.